Qatar started out as a small and modest nation and is now a worldwide powerhouse. This is because of its strategic planning, visionary leadership, and an innovative spirit. In a matter of only a few decades, Qatar has become a prosperous nation through significant investments in technology, infrastructure, and human development. It has made excellent use of its hydrocarbon sources and diversified its economy. Today, it has the highest GDP per capita in the world, a flourishing financial sector, and is the top choice for many major global events. Qatar's modern history is known to begin in 1766, when families from Kuwait migrated to the region, particularly the Khalifa family. They settled at Al Zubarah and made it into a pearl diving and trade center. The Khalifa family conquered nearby Bahrain and ruled it throughout the 20th century. The Khalifa dynasty departed Qatar, after which it was ruled by many sheikhs. The British noticed Qatar in 1867 when there was a dispute between the Bahraini Khalifa and the residents of Qatar, which virtually destroyed Doha. Until that time, it was viewed by the British as a Bahraini dependency, but it signed a separate treaty with Mohammed bin Thani in the year 1868, which set it on the course for independence and the rule of the Thani dynasty. Exploration for oil first began in 1935 with an agreement between the Qatar government and the Anglo-Persian Oil Company, which was later known as British Petroleum. Oil was discovered in 1940 in the Deccan field west of Doha. Commercial production was started in 1940, and the first exports were in 1949. More oil fields were discovered between 1950 and 1960, including the Bul Hanine and Maidan Mazam. Natural gas had been discovered in 1971 in the North Field, which is the largest non-associated gas field in the world. Gas production was started in 1980 and was expanded in the 1990s, along with export facilities. The oil and gas industry was what started Qatar's journey of transforming into a modern and wealthy state from a poor nation. Currently, it has around 25 billion barrels of oil reserves and more than 900 trillion cubic feet of gas reserves. Approximately 1.8 million barrels of oil and more than 10 billion cubic feet of gas are produced on a daily basis. Qatar had gained independence from Britain on the 3rd of September 1971. Up until then, it had been a British protectorate since 1916. It allowed Qatar to gain control over its oil and gas resources, develop its economy and human resources from a foreign policy, and develop diplomatic relations, and protect and preserve its culture and identity. Gaining independence allowed the country to modernize, become a player in major markets, and invest in healthcare, education, and infrastructure. Good leadership plays a pivotal role in taking a country to new heights, and the Qatari leaders have played their own part in doing so for Qatar. Sheikh Khalifa bin Hamad Al Thani ruled from 1972 to 1995 and developed modern infrastructure, healthcare, and education systems. He introduced efforts to reduce oil dependence and developed diplomatic relations with many nations. He also focused on building roads and airports. Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, who was in power from 1995 to 2013, strengthened the economy through investing in tourism and finance. He modernized the education system and established high-ranking universities. He established world-class seaports and airports. He hosted many international events. He also established the popular Al Jazeera media network. The current ruler, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, whose rule started in 2013, launched the Qatar National Vision 2030 to focus on sustainability and protection of the environment. He introduced policies to counter the impact of the 2017 blockade. An air, land, and sea blockade had been imposed on Qatar by UAE, KSA, Bahrain, and Egypt on accounts that it was too close to Iran and supported terrorism. He encouraged entrepreneurship and startups. He further enhanced tourism infrastructure by hosting the FIFA World Cup in 2022. Each leader accelerated the efforts of the previous one and added to the country's success. The Qatari economy has played a significant role in its prosperity. It is one of the fastest growing economies in not only the Middle East but also the world. Qatar has the third largest natural gas reserves, as well as huge oil reserves that have generated significant revenues. The Qatari government has strategically invested in finance, in tourism by establishing luxurious destinations, and in industry by developing free zones and hubs. The country has an economic growth rate of 3.5% and a low inflation rate of 2.5%. It has one of the lowest unemployment rates globally, only 0.1%. In the year 2022, it had $83 billion of exports, out of which $60 billion were of oil and gas. Qatar has heavily invested in infrastructure that has both modernized and strengthened the nation. The road networks stretch over 9,000 kilometers. There are over 200 bridges and more than 10 tunnels. The intelligent transportation system is in place for traffic management. The Qatar rail network is 300 kilometers long. The Doha Metro is 76 kilometers long with 37 stations, and the Lusail tram is 19 kilometers with 25 stations. Qatar connects to the UAE, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia via a long-distance rail. There are two major airports, the Hamad International Airport and the Doha International Airport, which handle 50 million and 10 million passengers per year respectively. All these are state-of-the-art with world-class facilities. They have improved accessibility, enhanced the citizens' quality of life, supported economic growth, and enabled Qatar to be the host of many international events. Qatar has developed a world-class education system. Education is a major priority, with the government having invested over 22 billion Qatari riyals in 2020. There are more than 208 public schools that serve over 196,000 students and over 310 private schools that serve almost 200,000 students. In order to ensure good quality education at their institutes, Qatar has recruited licensed teachers and also provides them training for continued professional growth and development. The system for higher education is also highly developed and efficient. The colleges and universities here not only teach the Qatari citizens but also attract students from other parts of the world. Qatar's dedicated efforts with regards to education have led to a knowledgeable and skilled workforce, fostered entrepreneurship, increased global competitiveness, and drawn international investment and talent. Like other sectors, Qatar has invested in technology, and that has contributed to the country's influence and power. It has developed smart grids, cloud infrastructure, and advanced data centers and cybersecurity measures. In terms of banking and finance, it has developed digital payments and mobile banking. For education, there are digital resources and e-learning platforms, as well as augmented and virtual reality education. For the government, there is digital governance and e-services. Qatar has also taken initiatives for space research and exploration. Due to Qatari efforts, 99% of the households have internet access, 95% of the populated areas have 5G coverage, 90% of the government services are online, and 95% of the organizations have cybersecurity measures. Qatar has established strong foreign relations that have played a part in strengthening it. It has ties to over 150 countries and has active participation in foreign organizations like the UN and Arab League. It has particularly strong relations with Turkey, France, and the UK, and it also is a member of the Middle East Strategic Alliance. It trades with strong economies like the US, EU, and China. It has contributed significantly to humanitarian efforts in Yemen and Syria. It has played a part in mediating conflicts in Lebanon and Sudan. It also participates in global forums like the G20. These relations have enhanced Qatar's global influence, strengthened the economy through international investments and trade, ensured security, promoted cultural exchange, demonstrated commitment and global citizenship, displayed its capabilities in mediation and conflict resolution, and shaped its policy. In conclusion, by unwavering dedication and unrelenting efforts, Qatar has excelled in every aspect that has made it a superpower in today's highly competitive world. If you enjoyed this video, then hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell icon so you always stay updated about upcoming videos. See you in the next one.